If I had to pick just one nymph to fish with the rest of my days, it would be this, the Beadhead Prince Nymph. It's almost as fun to tie as it is to fish. There are many variations of this classic 1930s fly, but here's one of my favorites. Start off with a Mustad 3906B or a similar large shank hook with a gold bead. Next, add some lead-free wire onto the hook shank to give not only some extra weight, but also create a nice taper from the bead back to the body. Once you get the tag end snipped off, take some brown thread and build up a nice little base behind the lead-free wire to keep it in place and create that smooth taper. Cut off the extra thread and then grab some brown goose biots, cutting them free from the feather before tying them onto either side of the hook. You can tie these on together, but I prefer to do them separately, which I feel gives me a little bit more control. I like to use a fingernail to hold the biot into place. While I tie those in, why not hit the subscribe button so you never miss a video. Once you get both biots in place, it's time to add some gold wire. You can also use tinsel, but I prefer the wire because it's a little more subtle and lets the peacock curl shine through. For the body, grab 3 strands of peacock curl and cut off the tips. Tie them onto the hook, bringing your thread forward and then back to the tie-in point. Next, hold the hurls together and wrap them forward, keeping the wraps behind the thread. As you bring the hurls to the front of the hook, your wraps push the thread forward as well. This will keep all your hurls together nice and neat. When just behind the bead, tie off the peacock curl and cut off the extra. Now take your gold wire and counter wrap it to add both segmentation and durability. Tie off the wire and then helicopter or cut it free. At this stage, the traditional fly calls for adding some brown feathers as legs or collar, and traditionalists might get upset at me, but I usually skip this step. I find that adding a brown feather takes more time than it's worth, especially if you're tying a bunch of these flies. For the wings, cut 2 white goose biots free from their stem. You can tie these on together, the same as you would with a tail, or you can do them one by one, which I prefer to do. I hold the wing in place with one of my fingernails and tie it in before cutting off the extra length. Once I'm happy with the first one's placement, I'll add the second white biot to complete the wings, making sure that it's the same length as the first one and equally positioned. You can readjust them to make sure they're just where you want them before really tying them down tight. Next, take your whip finish tool, do 3 or 4 wraps, and cut off your extra thread. Add a little bit of head cement, and there you have it, the Beadhead Prince Nymph.